So this morning's class is going to be looking, well, it might be afternoon, wherever you are, or even the evening. So we're going to be looking at this central space here. Either side you've got the lungs and the pleura, but in the centre here you've got the heart and the pericardium. So the pericardium is what we're going to have a little focus on today. We're going to be looking at how when the diaphragm moves down, the pericardium attaches to the top of the diaphragm centrally here, and then you've got the pericardium either side of the heart space engaging with that pleura. And then at the top here, this is where the mediastinum stops. So if you find your manubrium come down, there's a sort of a lumpy bit here. That's the sort of area that we're going to be looking to open at the top. And then of course you've got the back of the pericardium that merges and blends with some of the connective tissue of the esophagus and trachea and spine and so on. Okay, so movements and awareness of this space today, and then we can add in some of the fire elements in terms of the meridians and so on associated with the fire elements. Okay, let's get started. So the usual start, just a few deeper breaths in and out, and then connecting into the weight of the body against the floor. Paying particular attention to the feet, pelvis, shoulder blades, weight of those arms, the space between the shoulder blades, and the weight of the back of the head. And then drawing your attention into this center space, the mediastinum. So we're going to be dropping our attention into this space and just watching, feeling different bits of us as we breathe. So first focus, feel the bottom of the pericardium that's against the diaphragm, moving with the diaphragm movement. So as the diaphragm moves down, you're feeling the pericardium move down with it. As the diaphragm moves up, you're feeling the pericardium move up. So remembering this is sort of the center of the diaphragm. And as you take that next breath in, pay attention to where you feel the left side of the pericardium would be. Then right side of the pericardium. And then that space at the back of the mediastinum where the pericardium interfaces with esophagus, trachea and so on. And then the sort of opening, that space that opens into the pericardium at the top there, around the level of the bottom of the manubrium. So that creates the sense of the shoulders moving out towards the sides. And then we're going to join in with the spinal movement, so rolling the pelvis away, palms roll to face the ceiling, chin down towards the chest, breathing out, rolling pelvis back, chin and chest part company, palms facing the floor. So your attention is that center part of you in the chest, feeling that filling and emptying. And then we're going to join in with the arm movement. So the next time we roll the pelvis away, the left arm comes up above the head, and we're checking into the left side of the pericardium, breathing out, back down with that arm. Again, left arm, so we're just really familiarizing ourselves with how that center of us changes when we're using that left arm. Let's have a go with the right arm. And we're on to the familiar roll, so straighten that right leg, right arm comes out towards that, left arm towards the side, and we'll quarter roll to that right side, and our focus is on that center part of the chest, the mediastinum, as we're rolling, windscreen wipering that knee across the midline. Then out to the side. So how does that space fill and empty with that rotation? Then we can compare that with the other side, so slide left leg down, right arm out to the side, and we'll quarter roll to the left now. So emptying and filling that center space. Equal breath in, equal breath out. In for 5 or 6, out for 5 or 6. Let's come back through to the midline, and we're going to go through one more round each side. So slide right leg out straight, in for 5 or 6, out for 5 or 6. Getting a sense of filling that heart space. And then as that heart space empties, it connects with that central tube. And just notice, does that Get a sense in you of wanting to empty at the top of the head or down into the pelvis. So you're just noticing. Left leg out straight. Quarter rolls, in for 5 or 6, out for 5 or 6. We're getting that coherent breathing going, filling that heart space. And then as you empty, connecting with that central canal, the tube, either up and out through the head or down through into the pelvis. Back we come through the midline, both feet up now. Just check into a couple of breaths in, rolling pelvis away, and back again, feeling that heart space, the mediastinum. How's that space moving now? Up we come, onto 4 points, so shoulder blades, and then onto the feet, so we've got that sense of connection through those 4 points. Filling the mediastinum, emptying the mediastinum, and then getting a sense of connecting through that tube, up or down the tube, in for 5 or 6, out for 5 or 6. Let's just come down from that bridge, just pause a moment or two, so you're getting a sense now of connecting that heart space with the core of us, down through to the pelvis, to the top of the head. Now we're going to bring our arms out to the side, and we're going to focus on some arm movement when we're up in the bridge. So up into the bridge we go. So we've got those feet engaging, shoulder blades, so we're filling that heart space. Then as we empty, we're bringing the fingertips up towards the ceiling, backs of the hands facing each other, reaching the fingertips up, filling, coming out to the side, emptying, in for 5 or 6, out for 5 or 6. So now we're balancing on that space between the shoulder blades, while the shoulder blades are freed up for those arm movements. Palms facing the ceiling, to the backs of the hands facing each other. Connecting that heart space, up or down the tube. Back down we come. So now we're going to get the bolster and bring that bolster underneath our pelvis, so we're supported in that position. So bending thighs up, arms out at 90 degrees, heels up towards the ceiling. And we're going to check in first of all to the center space, that mediastinum, how that space is moving, as we take a breath in and out. So we're in for 5 or 6, out for 5 or 6. So we've got an idea of how that space is moving. You might want to have a look now at what we're up to. So we're going to bring our arms down by our side, push through the bolster, and we can support the pelvis, let those thighs come down towards the chest bone. So that's one way, or we can roll so we're supported with the bolster underneath here, but I'm using my hands to support. Bend those knees, thighs down towards the chest. So we're really squishing that space centrally. So what we're doing now is we're just focusing again, in for 5 or 6, out for 5 or 6, and that space centrally. So pushing your elbows into the floor, backs of the arms into the floor, shoulder blades into the floor, and then so we're squishing that heart space. How's that heart space managing with the in and the out breath? So just a gentle rise and fall. We're not trying to be Michelin men. And then we can come back down with our bottoms onto the bolster, arms out to 90 degrees, heels up towards the ceiling, knees can still be bent, and then check into that rise and fall of the breath in the center of the chest. So as you breathe in, you're focusing on feeling that diaphragm pulling the pericardium down towards the pelvis, and then that pericardium diaphragm moving up towards the head end on the out breath. Bend those knees down, feet back onto the floor, bottom up. You can bring that bolster over, up above the head, or over to our right hand side, behind the knees, and then we're going to roll over onto our left hand side. So we're on our left hand side now. So we're checking into those ribs on that left hand side, pelvis. And we're going to bring that right hand against the side of the face and ear. We're not going to be specific with the fingers or hand position just at the moment, but that's something that we can work on later in the group of programs or classes. So breathing in, that knee comes up, the elbow comes towards the floor. So you're really feeling the shoulder blade move around the ribs and squish the center of you. And then knee drops down, elbow comes up towards the ceiling. Remember, we got that connection with the tube, that center of us from pelvis to top of the head. Okay, both knees together. So now we've got that right hand. We're going to slide that right hand forwards. We're squishing the center of the chest. Our nose rolls to the left, and then we come back again. So rolling, squishing, and then back again. So the two knees are together. What happens to the ankle? Can you keep those ankles on the floor? Filling the heart space. Emptying the heart space. Okay, so now we're going to come back through the midline. We're going to leave this left arm behind. We've got the bolster on our right hand side, and now we're going to fold the left thigh over right thigh. So make sure this left shoulder is supported, as in not uncomfortable. And then we find the bolster with the knees, and we're just going to follow that rise and fall of the heart space in this yin posture. So your awareness is of the breath in the center of that heart space, filling and emptying. Next in-breath, we'll come back through the midline, we'll unfold, and then roll through back onto that left-hand side. Oh, just enjoy that moment of rest, and then we're going to come up onto left elbow, left hip. Remember, we can come up and support ourselves with the bolster if need be. So, going to come up now with the pelvis, hand on the side of the head. So, long through that right leg. So what we're going to do is we take a breath in, we're opening, breathing out, we're bringing that elbow down towards the fingertips of the other hand, keeping everything long through the tube. Filling the centre of that heart space, emptying. Okay, back down we come, onto that left side, roll through to your back, check into that difference, left and right, in particular, in between the shoulder blades, will come up into the bridge. Feel that sense of connection, strength through the bridge there now. And then one rib down after the other. And then we're ready to roll through onto our right hand side. So we'll get the bolster behind us. So we're onto that right hand side. Bolster in line with the knees. So we'll just check into that right hand side initially. Connection from tube to top of the head. Just bring that left hand to the side of the face, ear. So now we're going to raise the knee, drop the elbow, squish the heart space. Drop the knee, up with the elbow. That tube is open, in for 5 or 6, out for 5 or 6. So don't worry too much about the nose, it's the elbow that we're working towards the ceiling. Okay, 2 knees together, hand in line with the chest. So we're going to slide that hand out, squishing the centre of you. The head can roll. And then we slide that hand back again. Think about lengthening the space between the shoulder blade and the spine on that left side. Are those ankles staying on the floor, or are they coming up in the air? So you're getting a relationship between the hips and that shoulder blade movement. So it's a very slow, gentle Okay, we're on that left hand side. We're going to roll through onto our back. So make sure that right shoulder feels comfy. Hook right thigh over left thigh. Find the bolster with your knees, shin bones. So we're relaxing knees, thighs against the bolster with that right arm comfortable. And we're just focusing on that rise and fall of the centre of us, the mediastinum. In for 5 or 6, out for 5 or 6. Back we come through the midline, unhook. The thighs roll back onto that right hand side. Just taking your time. And then coming up onto that right elbow. So remember, you can use the bolster. We're going to come up, long through left leg, hand onto the side of the face. And then we roll down, long through the tube, that left elbow reaching for the fingertips, then coming up towards the ceiling. Staying long through the tube. Growing tall through that central space, emptying through that center space. Last one. Okay, down we come onto that right hand side. Enjoy that squishy, forgiving feeling of those right ribs, then rolling through onto our backs. Get ourselves set, ready for the bridge. And then just feeling that sense of connection left and right. One rib down after the other. Perfect. Okay, so let's roll now through onto our tummies. Bolster can come up above the head there. So we'll start with the forehead on the backs of the hand. Check into the front of the body. Check into the center space, the mediastinum. How's that space moving with the breath? And then you're going to bend both heels up towards the back side. And just notice where you're moving in the spine. Then back down. One more time, just to feel where that spine is moving and where it's not moving. And then we'll take the heels off to the right, back through the midline, off to the left. And then we'll come up onto those elbows. So the focus today is going to be on not moving the the legs will take, but more the shoulders. So we're going to come up onto those knees. So we've got the tube from pelvis to top of the head. So we're pushing down with the knees, the elbows, the forearms. Okay, so now what's going to happen, we're going to really get a sense of connecting with the left elbow, right knee. We're connecting through the center of us, and we're just sliding right hand forwards, right hand back. Okay, now we're going to do same on the other side. So we've got the weight through right elbow, left knee. So we're still weight bearing through the left side, but not to the same degree, because obviously we're able to slide that arm forwards and backwards. So we've got the connection down the center. Then from that position, just stay, keep that connection with the knees and forearms, or come up onto your toes. Back down onto your knees. Last thing we're going to do is push right elbow into the floor, left elbow, right elbow, left elbow, right and left, right and left. So we're on our knees, but like a cat clawing at the furniture. Right, okay, then we can come back down and check into how those shoulders are set up now. So from that position, bend both heels towards backside. That feels very different in my spine. Both heels towards backside, drop heels out to the right, back through the midline, heels out to the left. Then back we come. Legs back down. We can bring that chest bone up now. Get the bolster that's up above the head. So we're going to feel that chest bone supported, and then we can bring the heels of the hands to support our head, and then in that position we're feeling nicely supported. We're just going to feel that rise and fall of the mediastinum, that heart space. slowly but surely come back with the weight onto the forearms to the hands, and we can push ourselves up into 4-point kneeling. Tuck those toes underneath you, and then we're going to push ourselves up. The bottom rises up to the ceiling. So now the heels are off the floor, the knees are bent. We're going to focus on that breath, the central tendon. So we're breathing in, feeling that sense of rising up towards the ceiling. And then as we breathe out, we stay with our bottom towards the ceiling. The heels can drop down as the heart space drops towards the head. And then we can walk those hands up onto our feet. And then we're ready for our standing postures. The standing postures are going to be really quite explorative today. So it's feeling your way through the movement. And just to start with, we're going to tune into the earth. So feeling the pads of the toes, the balls of the feet, the heels. Feel that space between ears and shoulders. And just in that space that we're in at the moment, tune into the mediastinum and that heart space. So as you take a breath in, feel that space open. As you breathe out, feel that space soften and relax. So now we're going to not do a full fold down, but we're going to do the arm part. So as we breathe in, the arms come up. The center of us, the breathing muscle goes down. We're creating heart space with those arms. Breathing out, emptying that heart space, connecting with the floor, back down. So again, coming up. Next time you come up, just with the right arm, connecting with that heart space. Back down with the arm. One more time with that right arm. So moving to create space in the center of that chest. And then emptying that space. Left arm. One more time. Okay, both arms, and we'll go through a full fold down now. So create that space in the center of you. Then empty as you're coming down. Knees are bent and soft. Feet engaged. Repeat. Hands come to rest in front of the heart. So we're going to do a one-armed fold down. So right arm up, opening that space, breathing out, coming down over that right leg, emptying that heart space. Coming up now, left arm. Folding down, emptying. Coming up, right arm. And left arm. And then both hands resting in front of the heart as we come up. So we'll come into the warrior now. So left foot forward, right foot back. And we're going to engage this space at the front of the chest, in between the shoulder blades, and get those arms engaged with that space. So breathing in, we're coming up, creating that space. Breathing out, back down again. Draw the breath up through the legs into that heart space. As those hands drop, you might feel that energy rise up through the top of the head or back down into the feet. Next time the hands come up, bring them in front of the heart. So now into warrior, breathing in, filling heart space. Breathing out, emptying heart space as we lean over, head towards the floor, arms back behind us, filling. Emptying. Rest hands in front of the heart, turn feet to face the same way. Drop hands down, right foot forward, ready for warrior. Breathing in, coming up, creating this space. Breathing out, back down again. Pay attention to the energy rising. Next time those hands are up, then bring them in front of the heart space. Breathing in, filling heart space, hands up. Breathing out, down, over that front leg, then back up again. So how those hands come up influences how you're creating that heart space. Last one down. Hands in front of the heart, turn feet to face the same way, step in. So now we're going to come forward with left foot, right foot even, back with left foot, and you've got that space, pelvic space between the feet there. Okay, so connecting, tapping the top of the head. So you've got that energy filtering down through you. Left hand forward, right hand back. And then you can close those eyes if that works for you. So we can draw that breath up through the feet, the pelvis, the low back to the bottom of the diaphragm. Breathing out through the top of the head, in through the top of the head, down to the top of the diaphragm, out through low back, pelvis, feet. Drop those arms down, left foot forward, right foot back, space for that pelvis. So you've got the percolation from top down through. Right arm forward, left arm back. So up through the feet, pelvis, low back, bottom of the diaphragm, breathing out, up and out through the top of the head, in through the top of the head, down to top of the diaphragm, out through feet. Close those eyes if that works for you. So you're continually making little micro adjustments to facilitate that movement of energy. Back we come. Both feet together. Or back with both feet facing forwards. Feel that sense of connection, feet and heart connected. Okay. So hopefully you're warm and comfortable, feeling that weight of the body against the floor. And then tuning in to the rise and fall of your breath in that heart space. On the next in-breath, filling that heart space, and as you breathe out, that energy, that warmth moving up through the neck and throat, the face, the jaw, the head, to the top of the head. Next in-breath, filling that heart space, emptying through left shoulder, arm, all the way down to the tips of the fingers and thumbs. Next in-breath, filling that heart space down, emptying down through the left side of you, hip, thigh, knee, calf, ankle, foot, toes. Filling heart space, emptying down the core of you, all the way down through to the pelvic floor and beyond. Next out breath, down through the right side of you, right hip, thigh, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, foot, toes. Next out breath from the heart space, out through right shoulder, arm, hand, tips of the fingers and thumbs. So, filling that heart space. And then as you breathe out, down through to all those spaces, so tips of the fingers, toes, pelvic floor, top of the head. So a starfish breath. So you're feeling the whole body breathe with the heart space being at the center of that whole body breath. Bringing your awareness then into the right thumb, feeling any sensations in the right thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, right shoulder, armpit, side of the waist, right hip, upper leg, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot. Right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. To the left side of the body and left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, left shoulder, armpit, side of the waist, left hip, upper leg, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot. Left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. back of the body and left buttock, right buttock, low back, middle back, upper back, back of the neck, back of the head, crown of the head, to the front of the body and the forehead, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, eyebrow centre, right eye, left eye, right cheekbone, left cheekbone, right ear, left ear, bridge of the nose, tip of the nose, right nostril, left nostril, top lip, tongue, bottom lip, chin, throat, right collarbone, left collarbone, right side of the chest, left side of the chest, centre of the chest, top of the tummy, navel, lower tummy, pelvic floor. So the whole body breathing, feeling that sense of expansion and then letting go. Bringing that awareness then back into the room, the space around you. We'll start those toes wibble wobbling up and down. Squeezing right buttock, left buttock, right buttock. Right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade. Right, then left, hands up above the heart space, up above the top of the head, back in front of your heart space. Well done. Your heart space today, and well done you. Take your time to roll onto your side and enjoy the rest of your day.